Am I the only one who spends an unreasonable amount of time watching old Dave Ramsey clips? Because that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We have Kevin from Atlanta, and this clip is from 12 years ago. And basically, he's got $2 million saved up, but is afraid to spend it. So let's go ahead and dive into this reaction.
Kevin is with us in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hi, Dave. I appreciate you taking my call.
Sure.
My question, I think, is a little more psychological than it is financial. I just thought that maybe you could give me some wisdom that might help me change my way of thinking. But I've been a saver just all my life. I've never carried debt other than a mortgage and a car. And my wife retired last year, and I'm about 14 months away. I'll be 66 in 14 months. And it's just that being a saver all my life, I've worked construction, so there's been times that savings has come down, back and forth, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 14 years has been really good, and we're in good shape. And I'm not worried about running out of money or anything like that. It's just there's something in my head about seeing those savings going the other direction. I mean, it's like I'm going to have to learn how to spend money.
Yeah, and this is a very common experience. You know, you've spent your whole life saving up, especially for retirement, and then the roles kind of get reversed. Now you have to focus on actually spending money, and usually you won't have an income coming in, maybe outside of Social Security. So instead, you're living off what you've built up, and that is a pretty scary experience for a lot of retirees, especially since the math works a different way when you're withdrawing on your assets and if the market comes down. But again, this is more of a psychological question than a mathematical question for Kevin here, is he's got nearly $2 million saved up, but is it going to be enough for him to be able to spend and enjoy his time? Let's find out.
And it seems like the closer I get to retirement, the more it bothers me.
No, I can appreciate that.
My wife and I, if I retire at 66, we'll bring in about $96,000 a year. So I don't even know if we'll ever even touch our principal unless it becomes a medical. There are medical issues with both of us, so I don't think we're going to outlive our money by any means. And it's we, like I said, other than maybe traveling or medical, I don't know that we'll ever even have to touch that principal.
Now, the house and the car are paid for now.
No, the house, we just bought a house 4 years ago. We owe about $230,000.
And how much do you have in your nest egg?
It's about $1.7 million.
Good for you. Way to go, Kevin.
And
congratulations.
Like I said, well, I appreciate that.
And you said you worked construction?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do in the construction business?
I'm electrical.
Okay, so you're an electrician your whole life.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But, does your wife work outside the home, or did she?
She did.
What did she do?
She was in the insurance business, and she's done really well. I mean, she's helped big time. She actually has more saved than I do, but she always maxed out her 401 ever since we first met. She was actually putting a little less into that, and I kind of talked her into going full bore, so she's done it ever since.
And you guys, when you got married, you started with nothing?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been married?
35 years.
Okay.
35 years.
You are the classic case study of America's millionaires.
Well,
you don't feel like a millionaire, do you?
Oh, no.
You're almost a multi-millionaire.
And to me, you know, that guy that wrote that book like that, there's a difference between having $1 million and somebody that can live like a millionaire, because, you know, we've spent our whole life accumulating it.
Well, I think the difference is we have the idea that a millionaire can buy anything they want anytime they want, and the truth is mathematically they can't.
Right.
And so when we say living like a millionaire, when guys like you and me say that, what we mean is super rich people. But really, $2 million is rich, but it's not super rich.
Right.
But it feels good. You've done a great job. You're an inspiration to people listening right now. You know that.
Yeah, this is really great to see. And remember, this is from 12 years ago, so 1.7 million 12 years ago was even considerably more than now. And again, it just proves the point that you don't have to have a super high income job or some fancy degree or title. Those can be great and a great way to save for retirement, but you know, you can work, more, I would say basic or more maybe blue collar jobs, white collar jobs. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a surplus of savings and investing and you're putting part of that away for the future. That is what's going to set you up the most. And again, whether you're in insurance or an electrical technician of sorts, like Kevin is, you can become a multi-millionaire by retirement by going slow and steady.
Well, but it's like I said, it's like I'm going to have to learn how to spend money.
Yep, you are. You are.
There's no children. There's no
spent
children
66
involved.
years building up one muscle, your saving muscle.
Yes, sir.
And so I would recommend a couple of things. One is that you put your toe in the water and you make yourself, by setting a written goal, you and your wife, that we are going to spend X on fun. And I don't care how much it is. But let me just tell you this, okay? Let me ask you this. If you spent, how much money would you spend on a cruise if you were going to take your wife on a nice cruise and it kind of made you feel uncomfortable because it felt like it was too much, almost?
Oh, wow. I don't know. We've been on several cruises, but we go cheap.
Okay,
Actually,
then that's this is a good question. I'm not talking about cheap. I'm talking about you're doing a good one and you're going to do it right and you're going to get a better room and you're going to spend a little bit more money and it's going to kind of touch your emotions.
Probably $4,000.
Okay. Then I want you to plan to spend $8,000 on a cruise this year.
Okay.
Wow. You can't breathe now.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot.
But you got $1.7 million, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even take the sweat off your interest.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself.
Yeah.
I mean
mathematically,
we're not going to run out of money. It's just the fact of seeing it going the other direction.
Yeah, mathematically, I just pulled one pair of pliers out of your toolbox, and you got 65 million pairs in there. You know?
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's what we're doing. And so I would never do something to put you in jeopardy. You've worked too hard. But I want you to, I didn't ask you to spend $80,000. Did you hear that too?
Yes, sir.
And $80,000 would have been okay.
Yeah, so whether or not 80,000 as like a one-time expense would be okay. Mathematically, I'm sure it's fine as long as you're keeping on track because obviously he's got $2 million, but that might be a bit much. But the question really comes down to, how do you improve your spending muscle, as Dave says? And I think it's a good way, spending maybe a smaller amount compared to what you usually do. So like Dave said, he spent like $4,000 on a cruise. So maybe go for something like 8,000, 48,000. I mean, gosh, the guy's already, I think what he said, almost 66 or 66. So, those are years in retirement that are early on in your 60s are some of the best years of retirement. So, in every year that you lose out, maybe one that you like, dang, why didn't I just do things while I really could move as easily as I could back then? So I do think that it's a good idea. And I think he's really got to start spending some of this money, of course, in a smart fashion. Don't start just drawing, 8 to 12% or something like that each year.
You could probably still do that, but let's spend $8,000. And what I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to stretch your spending muscle a little bit.
Yes, sir.
To where you just enjoy it. And so the next time you book a cruise, I want you to book a better line. Don't go on that cheap line. Go on the more expensive one. And I want you to book a better room. And I want you to stay 2 days longer to where you're spending $8,000.
Yes, sir.
And you need to start working on that trip this afternoon when you get off the phone with me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Because all I'm doing here is I'm saying, all right, you are very good at saving. And I don't want you to get so good at spending that you're irresponsible. That never would Dave Ramsey tell you to do that. But you're calling me saying, how can I learn to enjoy some of this?
Yes, sir.
And you have to practice.
Yes, sir.
And so what I'm doing is giving you an assignment to practice enjoying it.
Okay.
And now that's what she liked to do. Now, what is your thing? What do you buy? Are you a tool guy, a car guy, a tractor guy?
Well, I have a lot of tools.
What is it that when you are, in your spare time, I'll give you an example. I collect guns. I've got a bunch of guns. I'm a gun guy, okay? And so I have no reason to have as many guns as I have, except I just like them. Yeah. There's no reason whatsoever. And whatever your thing is that's in that category, I want you to budget yourself some to enjoy that. Just a little bit. It won't be much.
Okay.
You've always wanted this tool. You've always wanted this certain classic car. You've always wanted that.
Yeah, there's actually a tool I'd kind of like to have that's sort of expensive, and,
Well,
and at
how
my
much is it?
age, somehow,
How
it's
much
hard
is it?
for me to, like a saw stop.
Yeah, and how much does it cost?
They're a little over $3,000.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. You didn't tell me 300,000. I would have smacked you silly. Okay.
No, I would never do
You
that.
said $3,000.
Yeah, I think $3,000 is a really good balance for him. Just something, he really wants, and it's not a significant amount of money for him. I think starting with something like that and then maybe progressively increasing the spending responsibly is definitely going to be something he looks back on and say, gosh, I'm happy I did that and I just didn't try to hoard all this money. I also think, I wonder if he does any giving at all because, if you got a good chunk of change like this laying around and you're not much of a spender yourself, well, there's a lot of people out there that would gladly use some help, whether, it's personal or an organization. There's a lot of good things you can do, and it may help you as well financially, like for tax purposes. But I think, any of those routes is going to be a huge thing for him.
Now, understand that your income, you already told me you're not even going to touch the principal, and you got $100,000 a year income, not even touching the principal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's just set yourself a few small goals like that and force yourself to practice enjoying. Now, let me give you one other assignment. We're going to buy a tool. We're going to go on a cruise. Here's another tool. Here's another thing. I want you to find somebody to give some money to, somebody that's hurting. I want you to increase your generosity level. I'm not saying you're not generous, but generosity goes with spending. They're kissing cousins. Generous people are generally spenders. Spenders are generally generous people.
Overall, Dave gave some great advice here. Kevin is clearly struggling with spending as he's transitioning into retirement, and you didn't save up your whole life just to sit there with a giant pile of cash. You need to responsibly spend down that money and really work on your goals in retirement. And what was the whole purpose of you saving all that money if you never really got the chance to spend it? So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this scenario and maybe how you would guide somebody with a nest egg saved up that is just a bit scared to spend it. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.